Radhe Radhe everyone. Good morning, good evening. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe everybody.
How are you doing, Samji? How are you, Sandhya? Good.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Now I'm unmuted.
Nice.
I'm great.
Shyamji, are you able to talk? Or?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Clearly?
we can hear you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Radhe Radhe everybody. We have a few minutes, so if you have any questions or you want to talk about something, please feel free to. We have 4 minutes, so.
Somebody who has joined new or somebody is already there for some time, please feel free to talk with him, bhai. Anything and everything. He's a great, what do you say, interpreter of Gita, Bhagavad Gita, with the grace of Maharaj and Swamiji. He can answer our questions.
I can try to, no guarantee though, okay?
I can try to answer our questions. If we have some doubts, some concerns, please feel free.
Yeah, there are some new names actually, so maybe some of them can.
Yeah, if you are new or you've been joining there,
and
please do.
Sometimes people, they don't talk. Maybe, I see some names. I don't know if I can call out.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you if you're joining new or joining for the first time.
Purva ji,
Nice
Shruti ji.
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe.
Samji has some.
Yeah, go ahead, Samji. Yeah, Shyamji, over to you.
Yeah,
Samji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Nitin, thank you very much for explaining everything to us. I have a little question. Like, sometimes we call that Ishwar, Rabb. What is will that be counted as a impersonal or a personal, a Paramatma or a Bhagwan, Ishwar?
If you what?
Common name Ishwar. Sometimes we call that Ishwar.
Ishwar. Typically Ishwar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ishwar refers to God himself, and God has all the forms of it. So impersonals also call them Ishwar, and even the personalist also called him Ishwar. Really depends on how you do that. But yeah, Ishwara typically is referred to in the impersonalists who consider God as an impersonal in his impersonal form, as Brahman, all pervading, only that aspect, or the light, all pervading light. Typically they call it Ishwara. In case of personalists, they call them Bhagwan usually. But yeah, Ishwar, Bhagwan, both are the same. Shruti has raised hands as well.
Yes, Shruti, please go ahead.
Yes, Shruti. Where are you joining us from?
Radhe, everyone. I am joining from Ranchi, Jharkhand.
Ranchi.
Ranchi.
Dhoni City.
I am
Mahendra Singh Dhoni City.
Yeah. I am B.Pharm 4th year student and studying in BIT Mishra, Ranchi.
BIT Mishra, we used to come and play cricket there. Okay, when I was in college, long back. So I have studied in NIT.
You studied that?
NIT Jamshedpur. So Ranchi, we used to come BIT Mishra and usually play cricket and usually beat their team as well. So, but yeah, good to know that Ranchi is a beautiful place. It's hill station of Bihar, right? When did you start joining, Shruti?
Sir, can you please repeat?
So when did you start joining the session? Good to have you.
Yeah, I started joining us, I think from February only, but I was not getting time for this session. So from today, I have decided to attend this session also so that I can learn more and more.
That's good. Good, yeah. If you are regular, you will definitely learn a lot. But thank you for coming.
I will try my best.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you the very best, Shruti, and we'd love to hear more from you. Pick up some recitations as well from time to time. Great. So today we got introduced to somebody new. Anybody else who wants to announce themselves, who have not spoken before or new to sessions? You're welcome to join a little early. Usually we have sessions before this one, but stay back and I would love to hear from you or fill it in the attendance tracker if you have any questions. That way we'll get to know you and keep this conversation going. All right, I know it's 9 o'clock, so let's get started with our opening prayers. Let me share my screen and we shall get started then. So today also we are going to do a bit of a detour. I don't know when 4.13 is going to get its turn, Chatur Varanya, but we're going to have a good discussion on this one as well. So let me share my screen and we will get started. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Give me a sec. We'll get started. A very
Radhe, a warm welcome to all of you. Sachin bhai, please do the honors. Sorry.
All right, so we'll get started. Today I have picked up, we're going to discuss this 4P management model today. We started off with the purpose. We did have a good discussion around this and we will build on that today and go up the ladder with regards to the priority, productivity and profit, however far we can go today. So let's get started with that. And some of the questions that we are going to tackle is that, how is it applicable for our spiritual growth? This model is applied for the growth that corporates strive for, bigger, better, more productive, and end of the day they have to show what do you call that, bottom line, right? Profit is what? Bottom line, not the top line. And then what is Bhagavad Gita telling us about each one of these concepts? So I have picked up a shloka today. Again, I'm taking a detour here and jumping forward. In fact, I was looking at the shlokas that we have picked up from other chapters. We have pretty much covered all the chapters, at least one shloka from each chapter, maybe multiple as well at times, but 11th chapter we hadn't, surprisingly. And this one is 11th chapter, 55th, which is the last shloka of 11th chapter that I've picked up. And we'll get started, and it's very relevant to the discussion that we are going to have today. So let's recite it and then you get an opportunity to follow along. Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sangha varjitah nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yah samameti pandava. All right.
Please feel free to recite the sloka. Yes. Ashutosh ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Mad karma krin mat marmo mad bhakta sang varjitaha nirvarah sarva bhuteshu yah samameti pandava. Radhe Radhe.
Nice, Ashutosh ji. Well picked up for the first time. Very nice. Wonderful. Okay, let's pick a few more hands.
Riya ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe ji.
Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sangha varjitaha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasa mam eti pandava.
Very
Radhe
nice.
Radhe.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Mat karma krin mat paramo मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव.
Very nice, Sandhya. I know you all are trying it for the first time, so it's pretty commendable. All right, let's take a few more hands.
Sam ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Mat karam krin mat parno mad bhakta sangha varjita nirvair sarva bhuteshu yasa mamete pandava. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, very nice, Samji.
Siddhant ji, Radhe Radhe.
11th
Radhe
chapter,
Radhe ji.
55th shloka. All right, yes, go ahead, please.
Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sangha varjitah nirvairah sarva bhuteshu yasamameti pandava.
Very nice,
Thank you,
Siddhantji. I think you're joining us from Gurgaon, right?
Yes, Nitin ji.
All right.
Thank
Good
you,
to
sir.
hear from you. Very nice. Okay, let's pick up a few more hands.
Nakshi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Shamji, Radhe Radhe Shamji.
Nakshi ji.
Mat karma kran mat paramo mat bhakta sangha varjitah nirvairah sarva bhuteshu yasamameti pandava. Radhe Radhe.
Full, very nice, Meenakshi ji. Okay, let's pick up a few more hands.
Shruti ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
मत कर्मा कृन मत परमो माद भक्त संग वर्जितः निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु या मामेति पाण्डवा.
Very nice, Shruti. You made your debut today and you did it really well. So keep it up. Wonderful. Okay, let's pick up maybe 2 or 3 more hands.
Kamlesh ji, Radhe Radhe. Kamlesh ji, can you hear me? Kamlesh ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Kamlesh ji.
मत कर्म कृन मत परमो मद भक्ता संग वर्जिता निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु यासा मामेति पांडवा. राधे राधे.
Radhe, very nice, Kamlesh ji. Radhe Radhe. Let's pick up maybe 3 more hands and then we'll get started. We have a good amount to cover today.
Rupa ji, Radhe.
Let's try to cover all of them real quickly.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhaktah sangha mat karma bhakta sangha varjitah nirvairah sarva bhuteshu yasamam eti pandava.
Very nice, Rupa ji. Radhe Radhe. Let's quickly pick up other ones as well.
Shruti ji, Radhe Radhe. Shruti ji.
Radhe Shruti.
Radhe Radhe Shamji, Radhe Radhe Namaste. Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhagta sangha varjitah nirvair sarva bhuteshu samameti pandava.
Wonderful.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Lakshmi ji, Radhe.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhaktah sangha varjitah nirvairah sarva bhuteshu yah samam eti pandava.
Very nice.
Radhe
Radhe Radhe. Let's take 2 more hands and then we'll get started.
Manish ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Manish.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sangha varjitah nirvarah sarva bhuteshu yasamam eti pandava.
Very nice, Manish ji. Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe.
Okay, last one.
Neeta ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Neeta ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Mat krim krim at parmo मद्भक्तः संगवर्जिता निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पांडवा. राधे
Thank you.
राधे.
It's mat karma krin mat parmo. Mat karma krin mat parmo. All right. Very nice. So let's get started on this one. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying, mat karma krit, perform duties for my sake, mat parama, considering me the supreme, mat bhakta, devoted to me, sangha varjita, free from attachment, nirvaira, without malice, sarva bhuteshu, toward all entities, yahu sahi mam, to me, eti kam pandava, Arjun, the son of Pandu. Lord Krishna is saying in this one, those who perform all their duties for my sake, who depend upon me and are devoted to me, who are free from attachment and are without malice towards all beings, such devotees certainly come to me. Now, Lord Krishna is, let's see, let's get deeper into the shloka. So what Lord Krishna is saying in this shloka is, give me a sec, that he is given 4 qualifications. One, who are free from attachment. Now, the moment we hear about attachment, he said, oh, how is it possible? How can we love? You know, when you have relations and when you love them, attachment is very natural. How can Krishna talk about like that? So it's a deep concept for sure. As we go along, it'll get clearer and clearer in our head. Actually, we can truly love when we are detached. From a position of detachment, we can truly love. This attachment is nothing but a selfish desire, okay, which comes across as love. I love you because, you know, something is there. So when you're truly, love can actually flourish when you can see it from a position of detachment. Something that compassion is a higher level of love. This is kind of a worldly love that we think about it, and attachment is actually binding. It doesn't help us flourish, and there's an inherent desire around it which basically brings about that attachment, and actually it caps our love as well. For somebody we can actually, you know, it's like, if the only when you can dissociate yourself with something, you can truly love them and bring out the compassion or the true love, so to say. It's a deeper concept. It will get clearer over time as we continue discussing this concept. The second aspect Lord Krishna is talking about is the devotion part of it. They are devoted to me, right? Devotion we are talking about, where we have a firm faith that our supreme father is there for me. We spoke about the principles of surrender as well, right? He's there. He's both my witness as well as my protector, right? That is something we need to keep it in mind always. 2 things: that he's my witness, there's absolutely no privacy, and then he's my protector as well. He has best interests in heart. Even a material father thinks of his child so fondly. So here we're talking about our spiritual father, and he just knows what is best for us. They depend upon me. The third thing is talking about is they depend upon me, where nirashrit, ananyo nyashrit, like this in Narad Bhakti Darshan, this term comes, where we solely depend on God. It's a very advanced stage, but we need to get better at it over time, where we are not relying on our relations, we are not relying on our bank balance, we are not relying on our insurance policies, we are not relying on the ecosystem that we have around us and giving ourselves a false hope they are going to protect me, or, you know, I depend on them. The more we lessen the dependency on them and you know, have more dependency, like, okay, God, you are my protector, I don't it's your problem, okay, my worries are your problem. The more we start developing that attitude, the better we start getting into it. And God says, when you give me all your problems, I'm more than happy to take that burden upon myself, right? There's a story, beautiful story in Mahabharat, where Bhishma takes a pratigya, like Daghichi's tyag. Similarly, Bhishma's vow, not vow, the vow means the oath that he takes, carried a lot of weight. So when Duryodhan told him that you are being partial towards your grandson, he said, okay, tomorrow either Arjun is dead or I'll make Keshav break his vow. Okay, again, the other vow. So when he takes that, the entire Pandava camp, they lost their zeal. They were like, okay, Bhishma said that, then tomorrow is going to be really bad for us. And the Yudhishthir and all, they are sitting in their camp with dismal faces, and Krishna walks in there and sees them all buried in tension, and he goes and asks them that what's going on here. He said, have you not heard about Bhishma's oath for tomorrow? So Krishna said, yeah, I've heard about him. And Bhishma, when he says, we know what it means. So he said, okay, if they are so worried, let me go and check Arjun also. He must be shivering in his boots, right? And then he goes to Arjun's room, camp, and Arjun is happily sleeping. Okay, it's like he's in another world. So Krishna says, he woke him up. He said, aren't you worried? Your brothers are shivering right now. Haven't you heard about Bhishma? He said, yeah, I've heard, but Keshav, that's your problem. When I have you, why should I worry? That was his attitude. So similarly, God says, just depend on me. We have to reach that stage. It's very difficult to reach that stage unless we love God, we have faith in God, we are surrendered to God. All these concepts have to converge before we can reach a stage where we say, okay, my worries are your worries, so I don't need to worry. So God says when you do that, and then the fourth condition that he's saying is, they are without malice towards all beings. Now, this concept, just bring that face to your eyes or your mind, the one person you said, I don't want to see this person's face. Okay, if you bring that person's face and you give up that malice, you can still see Krishna in them, divinity in them. So that's essentially what Krishna is saying. There's always one or few people in your life, you'll say, anything but that person, right? So start practicing seeing God in them, and God will say, you will be fine. We have to get rid of that feeling of resentment or malice or ill will towards them. And that is the practice we need to do. But what happens when let's say we start doing that, we become free of attachment, we are detached and compassionate and loving, and people say, okay, that is a fine. We will keep drilling into this concept so that it becomes pakka in our head. But the point is, when we're attached, actually, we cannot truly love as well, because there's a selfish desire there, and it's a bit conditional. When you're doing it with an attachment, it is conditional. So let's say we do all four of these. What happens? What is the price? The price is, Krishna is saying, such devotees certainly come to me. Right? The price is going to God. But who cares about that price? How many people have that aspiration? At least I didn't have that. I'm still working myself to intellectually convince myself, and not convince, convinced, but work towards it, the steps that are needed to. But who cares for that, right? We have so many aspirations in this world. I want to become the next Steve Jobs or the next Elon Musk, or I want to become so good in music, that person, or I want to look like that person, that, or have this kind of a fame, or become good in that something, some aspiration is there. Who wants to go to God? That is the price that God is talking about. We all have or I want to become the philanthropist, right? I want to help people around. I want to feel good serving people, or giving to community, or helping out my relatives, or becoming an ideal son, or raising good kids so that they can become the best that I could not become. All these aspirations are there. If you ask somebody, you do these four, you'll go to God's abode. He's saying, you'll come to me. He said, do we really care? Why should I even do this? Because that's not even on the top of my agenda, right? In my head. So that is a question that needs to be asked. And that's where we started fundamentally tomorrow. What is the purpose of life? Right? That's what we spoke about yesterday a little bit. So let's build on this concept. Now, the purpose of life is defined by, okay, let's get into this concept. The building blocks. Let's look at the building blocks. We'll dissect it to the most fundamental level here. Okay, if you think about it, this is our personality, whoever we are. Now, our personality is shaped by our habits. It's shaped by our habits, the kind of habits we have. Our habits are shaped by what we repeatedly do. So they say the genius or excellence is not an act, one-off act. It is something that you repeatedly do. And if you continue doing things which are exceptional, then you become a genius. It's as simple as that. So you are a sum of all your habits. Your personality becomes the things that you repeatedly do in your life. Not something, it should not be like a flash in the pan. Once in a while you do that. Once something that we can repeatedly do is something which ends up defining us. Right? Because we have a tendency to leave our signatures in what we do. So the way a person makes a bed tells a lot about how they are going to do their work for the rest of the day as well. So we become what we repeatedly do, and that becomes a mindset that's something that we defines our personality. Now the next question is, what do we repeatedly do? Why would we do something repeatedly? It's attached to our value system, something that we value. It's born out of that, right? If somebody's value system tells them that generosity, compassion is good, they will find a cause and start associating with them. If somebody's value system says that taking care of your health is very important, you will invest time in your health and all that good stuff as well. And your value system is born by the belief system that you have. There's a belief system all of us have. We all have some belief system. Everybody has that belief system, right? The definition of right and wrong, what is good, what is bad, how life should be, what is the purpose of life. It is born out of our belief system. And how does the belief system come about? Belief system comes about from the knowledge that gets activated or sanctioned by our intellect. We believe in it because that knowledge is something we firmly believe in. That yes, this is right, this is how it's meant to be. Now, the belief system has such an important role to play in our life. In fact, if you look at it, it is said that the most important faculty that we have in the machinery that we are endowed with, fairly complex machinery, is our intellect. And if we go with the knowledge that resides in that, it leads to belief. And trajectory of our life is determined by the beliefs we hold in our intellect. It has a direct relationship with what we make out of our lives. That is how important our belief system is. Our beliefs define us. Every act that we do in a day is influenced by our belief system. There's a belief system all of us have. You know, this is right, this is wrong, this is dharma, this is not dharma, this is how it's meant to be. Life is all about this and that. All that is determined by our belief system, which basically shapes our life. That is how important our belief system is. Furthermore, it is said that nothing can ruin us in life more than our own incorrect beliefs. Now, if you've gotten it all wrong, it will ruin you, right? So that is the importance of our belief system. Now, it is said that we walk by sight. We think we walk by sight, but factually the course of our life gets determined by our beliefs. Our beliefs are shaping every decision of our life. Whether I get up in the morning, I do this or do that, the kind of job or profession that I pick up, the kind of dealing I should have in a given situation, the kind of choices I should make given, the kind of opportunities that I seek out in life, everything is determined by our belief system. And we are not walking by sight. Actually, we are walking by our beliefs. That is how powerful belief is. And it is said that what you put in here, in your mind, is way, way, way more important than what you put in here, in your mouth. Okay, that is the importance. Because what you feed to your mind is eventually going to play a big role in your belief system as well. It's just like growing something in your head, right? What you feed. How do you feed our mind? How can we feed our mind? We can feed our mind through the interface or the faculties God has given us in form of our senses, the 5 senses, right? Gyan Indriyas. We absorb knowledge through eyes. Visually, we are devouring. It's a food for our mind, right? God has given us 2 stomachs. One which we eat and it's full for temporarily, and the other one is mind, it's never full. It can keep on devouring whatever you give it. Okay, and Brahmaji gave it because otherwise humans would go with, insane. So anyways, so what we put in here through our senses is very, very, very important, because in fact, that is called Gyan Indriyas. Gyan is what? Knowledge. Knowledge you are feeding to your mind. Mind has a relation with intellect. If your intellect is not active, then whatever mind feeds, intellect says this knowledge is right. Whatever gets fed in intellect becomes your belief system. Whatever becomes your belief system becomes your value system over time. Whatever becomes your value system will lead you to the kind of pursuits you do in life, actions you will do in life. What you repeatedly do becomes your habit, and then your habits will eventually define you. So it all starts with what you put in your mind through your eyes, your ears, your words, all that stuff. That is how important it is. It's like called thought by thought, we forge our destiny. So every thought, and Winston Churchill had said that the responsibility of greatness lies in every thought that you put in your head. That is how important it is. So if you want to become great, then there's a lot of responsibility of putting the right kind of thoughts in your head. It's like a garden. If you start putting weeds in it, the weeds have a tendency to bring more of its own kind. And if you nurture it, tend it correctly, then obviously you're doing a good job at it. Now, I think we have come to a conclusion that beliefs play a very, very, very important, extremely important role with regards to shaping our lives and our personality. Now, the next question is, how do we go about getting our beliefs? Anybody who can answer that real quick? Not a big discussion because it's a very important topic. Now, if belief is going to shape my life, how am I acquiring my belief system? How am I acquiring my belief system? Or is it just happening to me? And if it is just happening to me, something as important as belief, which is going to determine the shape of my life, can I just let it happen to me? Is the question to be asked. Can I just let it happen to me? Yes, let's hear from a few participants, and then I want to build on this conversation.
Ramya ji, please go ahead. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Ramya ji.
Radhe Radhe. What I feel is our beliefs, it strongly depends on the society we are in. Sometimes we catch up on the beliefs of the society as our beliefs also. The people we are around, our parents, family, they play an important role in shaping our beliefs. That's what I believe. Thank you.
Beautiful point, Ramya. They play a very key influence. Beautiful, very nicely said. We'll come to that. So that means it's happening to us, right? And it's a function of a lot of variables around us. Great point. Let's hear from other participants real quick.
Ramji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Ramya, you explained that's what I was to say. Society, your parents, your teachers, and your friend circle, whatever habits and things you listen from every elders, and same the reverse of that, whatever you listen from your gurus and saints and all those things, that also makes some kind of belief. And whatever you read from the scriptures are there positive beliefs and negative beliefs.
Very true. Very true. And we'll put some structure around it. What are the different sources through which we get our belief system? And we are going to challenge some of those as well. Yes, let's hear. I can see 3 more hands. We can quickly cover them as well.
Please go ahead. Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe, Nitinji, Radhe Radhe, everyone. Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit what Ramya and Samji said. Exactly that our belief system is built on what we feed to our mind. And mostly our source is movie, media, and music. Basically, what we are, the news that we read, the movies that we watch, the people that we are around, those kind of thing, on based of what we read and what we hear. Based on that, we build on our belief system.
3 M's you spoke about. Very true. They have a large impact, a big impact for sure in our lives. Very true. Okay, let's quickly cover other participants as well, and then we move forward, because let's hear about this, because it's a very interesting concept, right? Something as important as our belief is coming without we even realizing that it is contributing towards forming a belief in our head, how many times we have actually thought about it, that, something is coming to my mind, and analyzing it objectively before forming a kind of an opinion or a strong belief system. It's just happening to us, all by itself. Yes, let's pick up a couple more hands and then we will move forward.
Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. I think everything is got covered. I would say we all been cascaded down from our ancestor, and that wrong belief system is, I think, accumulated based on the incorrect knowledge, right? Something we never comprehend in such a manner that has to be relayed in some terms. So that's why we getting into the wrong belief every other things, right? So even let's say the fake media, what was Pallavi was saying, the fake the media, right? So as the same news is being delivered by the two different sources, right? The one source said this, one source said that, right? So that it's up to us that how we intellectually dissect that kind of same informations, and how we perceive it, and how we get our belief systems to be right or wrong. That is up to us to decide at the end of the day.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So we have a bit of a discussion. So let's please keep your hand on, and then we will come back to you, continue with the discussion. So let's move forward with that. So we came to know that we started with the shloka, right? These 4 things, if we do, Lord Krishna says, you come to me. But not many of us would truly be interested in that at this point. Why are we not interested? Because we have a certain belief system that we think is what the purpose of our life is. That is why it doesn't happen, right? Lord Krishna has given us a simple formula: do these 4 things, you come to me, right? Obviously, it takes a lot of doing to do that. So we started with the 4 P's concept, that we are going to cover all the 4 P's, starting with the purpose. And we were building on that purpose part of it. How many of us think actually there's a bigger purpose other than what we do? And we said our beliefs actually define what purpose we end up choosing in life, or what we think is appropriate for our lives, or what would define the success of my life, right? Now, coming to the belief value, as you can see the chain that we have seen here, with some tweaks, action, and the personality. And so it all starts with belief. So now people have this belief system. If you go around, you can sample, right? Yardstick for success and happiness in life is money, power, and fame. Or somebody might say to live life to the fullest. Charvak philosophy says that as well, by the way. Charvak is very famous these days. Yardstick for happiness in life is to eat sumptuous food. Somebody makes eating all kind of foods as a goal of their life, right? There are people, Zimmerman and all, they go around and just eat. Okay, that's what their life is all about. Happiness is to relax and enjoy after retirement, right? Everybody has that dream. I mean, even before I started with my job, I started thinking about retirement. So that's how it used to be. It took me a while to understand, what am I going to do with retirement if I don't have a plan B in life? Empty mind, unless we have something productive, it'll create unwanted anxieties and stuff like that. So some people say yardstick for happiness is to work hard and party hard, especially when you are in 20-25 age bracket. That's the belief system. And then when Brahmaji starts catching up with you, the kind of body he has designed, then reality starts checking in when you start approaching 40, 35, 40, that okay, all right, we need to slow down in life. And then some people have this belief system that looking good, we have to look good for the rest of our life. If you look at all the Bollywood industry, they never age. And there's a reason for that, right? So, and then some say that yardstick for happiness is having a simple life, template life, settle down, get married, raise kids, have a normal family life. And that's all life is all about, right? That is also a belief system. We're all born by a belief system. And then there was a husband who was going around with his wife to a Grand Canyon, and she was taking a lot of selfies, right? And then she came close to a canyon and started taking a selfie like this, on the verge of that canyon. And this guy says, okay, if you're going to take this kind of a pic, at least give me the lunch box. So he also has a belief system that lunch is more important than wife, right? So he couldn't take that chance. So we all have our belief systems around everything that we see. Now, yardstick for happiness is to, keep keep saving, because when it rains, it pours. Somebody's belief system is just keep saving. Every penny that you can shave off in life is an achievement in life, right? That is also a belief system. And then it can come in different forms, that I'm doing it for so and so kind of a deal, but it becomes your mindset and your belief system in life. And then for somebody, it could be that to have experiences. This is a new buzzword. Life is about gaining experiences, travel around and all that stuff. So we have been traveling in 8.4 and we have gone to up to Brahmalok, I guess. But that thing will not come. Now, where are we getting all these belief systems if you look at it, right? It's coming through informal knowledge acquisition, somewhere around it. So let's dissect this whole framework now. How do we gain this knowledge to begin with? Now we can gain knowledge, the sources of knowledge. Are we letting it happen to us? That is one category. Or are we acquiring it systematically? That is other category. So one is formal, one is informal. Now let's look at the informal part of it. Own experience plus own senses. That's how it starts. It's limited and imperfect. I can't see God and hence God doesn't exist. Very common argument. Youngsters, I'm willing to, Marxists say, I'm willing to believe in God if I can dissect it in a laboratory. Youngsters say, no, it's all hocus pocus. If I can't see, I don't believe it, right? How's it coming from? It's coming from the pride of our own intellect, own experience and own senses. And then the simple argument, I think so and hence it is so. That's it. So your opinion becomes a principle, a universal truth, because I think so. Why do I think so? Don't ask me that, but I think so. That is why it is truth. Now, that is informal. The second aspect of it is knowledge that is happening to us. Like, I think a lot of you touched upon it, elders, right? Mummy will tell you something, just do it. I'm telling you so and so. My nani did it, daddy did it, so you also have to do it. Friends will tell you, okay, just chill in life, okay? Who's told you to become Baba at this age? Just chill. Why do you have to take so much of tension and think about these deeper topics? Who cares? Who has seen life after death? So it comes from your friends, peers, news channels, right? Will come. The country wants to know, as if that's the most important thing in life, and you need to know as well. Google will tell you everything, right? WebMD has spoiled many careers in doctors, where WebMD, they read stuff and go to doctors. Social media, it has a big impact. Right? From picture to picture, what is going on in between, nobody knows. But the most airbrushed and nice pictures you see, and that's it. Oh my God, I'm missing out something in life. Okay, what has happened now? And people will have some kind of a fake news, by the way, in Facebook. It changed an election, complete election. The perception about the candidate was completely changed. So if you rely purely on social media for your general knowledge, it can actually create a parallel universe for you. Okay, so these are the knowledge that is subtly being fed to us. It is not something that is being intelligently acquired. Okay, these are some of the things that can happen, as we all know. And then the formal channels. Let's look at the formal channels around it. These are all informal channels, by the way. The formal channels are self-study. You basically go start reading scriptures on yourself and start asking too many questions around. Okay, it'll happen. It's a part of the seeking process. Now, self-help books that you see around. Okay, no dearth of self-help books in Amazon. Anything and everything we can lay our hands and eyes on, basically. Keep reading. A lot of self-study we will do. And beyond a point, it becomes Shastra Vasana. Our scriptures say it becomes Shastra Vasana, because when you get habituated to doing that, and we are not able to understand it, and we don't find a mentor, and then we end up getting confused because this says this says that, it can happen as well. So these are formal ways of doing it, but more intelligent than the other ones, informal ways. At least we are making an attempt, right, with sincerity, to understand something, some concept, and to apply it as well. And this is called self-study, the formal. Now let's get to the other aspect of it. You do it under the expert guidance of a guru. Now, guru, there are so many gurus out there, right? The key thing there is that guru has to be Shrotriya Brahmanishta. If you land with that kind of a guru, the faith is established and something clicks, okay? You get lucky. Let's say that happens. That's the best way to, or none. Somebody could be just a, shook, what do you call that, parrot narrator like me. None of it. And then in that case, what happens? And if somebody is both, somebody could be Shrotriya only, somebody could be Brahmanist only. But if somebody is both, best combo. And if you land with that, nothing like it. That is the perfect way of acquiring a knowledge. Because this is vetted in 3 ways. It is stated in scriptures. First of all, there are too many people, so a lot of gurus out there they keep on floating a theory, which is fine. It has to be backed with scriptures as well. Okay. Otherwise, your elevated state could come across as a universal principle, which might again be capping. Okay. May not be the absolute thing. So that can happen as well. But if you come across that kind of a guru, then your job is done. Then your doubts will start getting resolved. And then the proof, it will be the transformation that you would start feeling from within. That is the biggest proof, because it is in scriptures. Saints have said it. Your guru is saying that, and then the transformative effect, just by implementing a little bit of it or start practicing it, that itself will reinforce the belief that yes, you are on the right path. It's just like if you are hungry, can you explain how hungry you are? You cannot, right? You just feel it. And when you eat food, can you explain now you're feeling all right? No, it's experience. Similarly, when you find a guru, and that hunger that we have been feeling since time eternity, it starts getting satiated, you will get that experience all by yourself. That is the power of meeting a proper guru. And no confusions, where every second topic that you hear, there are 10 more questions which are coming up. It will happen initially, but after a while it will settle down. Otherwise, the whole life can go in questions only. Means this means that, and it can continue with it's more like a wild goose chase, especially if we are relying on self-study alone. We cannot do that for our scriptures. No matter who you are, how intellectually endowed you may be, you cannot dissect scriptures on your own, because we have a material intellect and scriptures are divine. It will end up confusing you big time, because apparent contradictions which are out there, only a guru, a God-realized guru, can actually reconcile it for us. Our brain, our intellect cannot. So this is the smartest way of building knowledge, or arming ourselves with the right knowledge, so that we can form a correct belief system and align our purpose in accordance with proper knowledge. Otherwise, we will all have our purpose in life, right? That purpose may or may not be perfect for us, because human life is a perfect life that we get, not perfect, but the best opportunity, so to say, we can get in the entire kingdom of species which are out there in this universe. So with that, let's quickly look at this as well, and then I'll come back to the question. I wanted to give just a couple of, I wanted to hand it over to Mohit, if you're around, for something really important he wanted to talk about, and then we'll continue on our discussion of the question as well. One more concept that I wanted to touch upon. Mohit, you're around?
Yes, Radhe Radhe.
I'll stop share for a minute. Yeah, Radhe Radhe, Mohit.
Perfect. Radhe Radhe, everyone. So I'm one of the volunteers in the Dallas location. And just some context here, I talked to Nitinji today about wanting to talk to you all. So since we're talking about beliefs, one of my beliefs recently has been that we can definitely have more volunteers helping us at the Radha Krishna Temple in Dallas. And after having attended the Holy Fest in Dallas as well as Houston, my belief became that we can do a better job. I talked to Shreyaji and she said, why don't you go ahead and see if you can do a better job? So here I am. A few of us are coordinating, and hopefully you all have you're all signed up on the interactive group from JK Yog. So I have recently, like a few hours ago, sent a notification there that if you are already registered with JK Yog, specifically the Dallas temple here, that's great. I'll probably reach out to you at some point. If you aren't registered, please go through the process of registering. All of this happens on the basis of volunteers, right? Nitin Bhai here, many of you have become volunteers that are already doing activities, but especially when we have large events, we all need to come together and make things happen. And as the temple is growing, there's a lot of growth and we need volunteers to come together. So if you would love to grow on your own journey, I promise I'll put you in the same group as Nitin Bhai, and your shortcut to Brahmanishta will just increase so quickly, right? So that's it. Please do consider, those of you that are remote, feel free to sign up also, because we have a lot of seva opportunities to do things remotely. But my focus initially is going to be those people that are based in Dallas, because as you know, the CICE building is opening up quickly. We need a lot more volunteers to help us grow. That's it. Radhe Radhe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohit. Yeah, please do look out the opportunity. And I think the form is designed in such a manner that it will give you opportunities where you think you can bring your skills to the fore. So you can pick up the areas of your interest, and we just have enough work, like I always say, and it's a good way to get involved in seva. And I keep on saying that if you don't put a vessel to your time, money, and the third thing is water. These three things need vessel, and seva is a great way to put vessel on your time. Otherwise, time will find its own ways, and you will not even realize that those minutes, seconds, they add up. And the seva could be as small as 10 minutes a day up to an hour based on your appetite and availability. Great way to get involved. And we always look for volunteers. You can work with me, Mohit, and just so many opportunities out there. So do take an opportunity to look at that form. And it's a great family. Be part of our family, extended family, and we'd love to work with you. It's an association, not just limited to this session alone. That much I want to tell you. And it's going to be a lifelong association for however long, with good food and blessings we can survive. So great. Thank you, Mohit, so much for that. All right, getting back to our session, I just wanted to quickly share and say thanks to everybody for the marathon that we are on right now. I'm going to share that. So within about a week or so, we've been able to raise, which is pretty significant, right? 4.5, getting close to 5,000 mark. So, and I took a pledge for 11,000, and I'm pretty sure we'll reach that mark as well. So do take an opportunity to take a look at that. And please share it with your friends and family as well. It's a small way to express our gratitude to Swamiji, who's building a university which is going to be a hub for Vedic wisdom and going to really help that part of the world with a state-of-art university and generate a lot of employment and a lot of opportunity for the rurals and the underprivileged there as well at once. So do take a look at that. I'll post the link for it once again. But again, my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who have contributed, and really means a lot. And it will go a long way to help Swamiji's cause as well. Okay, now getting back to our presentation. So we're talking about the belief system. Now the knowledge from humans. Okay, before that, let's get to the question part of it. If we were to define what are our top 3 priorities of life, let's get this discussion going in conjunction with the belief that we are talking about, and then we'll get to that, time permitting. Let's get the discussion going. I know we have time, and in the meantime, please feel free to update the feedback tracker as well. If you have any questions, do point it out as well. So let's get that discussion going. What do you think are our top priorities? Because from purpose comes priorities, and then we'll get to the remaining piece. Let's get the discussion going. Yes, let's give opportunity to the participants who didn't get a chance earlier and had their hands raised. I think Shruti, Surendraji, and probably one more.
We have some comment in the chat box. Read it first.
Yes, sure, please.
Shruti ji says through thoughts and social conditioning we can understand. And Joanne ji says our beliefs come from what we are exposed to and how we internalize these experiences. Surendra ji says impressions from nascent age do affect our knowledge. And Isha ji has asked, what is the meaning of Shodri and Brahmanishta?
Okay, sorry.
Surendra says knowledge leads to belief. And Sri Ramya ji has a question for Mohit ji. Can we register later around August, September? That's it. And Sam ji says screen frozen.
Okay, so I'll first answer Samji's question. The screen should be unfrozen. Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay, so it's going to be a rolling registration, right, Mohit? Okay. Yes, Ramya, you can definitely enroll. So if you are at a stage of your life where you have a lot of commitments going on and you're not able to find time, and you think few months down the line you can do that, yes, most certainly. Anytime is fine. You can always ping me or reach.
Probably for the people around Dallas. So as I'm staying in Delhi, Dallas is almost synonym. So I can try and reach out to you guys if you want me to there. I can relocate myself to Dallas and be there seva of Maharaj Swamiji forever.
Wonderful, Shyamji. We look forward to that. In fact, you can start another session only for Delhiites, and you can call it Delhi Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Delhi Wisdom. Okay, that was a joke, anyways. Okay. All right. So let's get the discussion going. What are the top 3 priorities? Let's just silently analyze and think about it. Okay, Krishna comes to you and gives you a return, not a return ticket, one-way ticket to Golok. Are we truly prepared for it as yet, right? Are we intellectually convinced what is the biggest purpose of life, or we still want to experience a few things in life before we can really say that, okay, I've had enough of this reformatory. Now I want to move on to bigger, better things.
Can you please explain the meaning of, Anishaji wanted to know the meaning
okay,
of
Shrotriya, yeah, sorry, I should have explained that. For some reason I thought, okay, Shrotriya and Brahmanishta means, Shrotriya means scripturally well-versed, who can actually resolve, who can actually provide bibliographical references to all the scriptures, that, hey, I'm saying this because in Kathopanishad, in Brahmanand Valli, in Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita, all that, it's not that I'm saying it because I believe so. We could be in an elevated state just because of we have attained certain level of understanding about things, which is fine. But unless we are going to the source, which is scriptures, which are revealed by God himself, then knowledge is still capped. So we should have a scriptural reference for everything. That is one, which is called Shrotriya, theoretically well-versed. However, the more important part is Brahmanisht. Brahmanisht means that person should himself be God-realized, himself or herself be God-realized. It's only a realized person who can actually explain things, because it is coming from realization. Right? It cannot come from somebody who's not realized. So both these qualities, if you get in a guru, nothing like it, because they can resolve their doubts, and then they will resolve it in a manner that then you will not have any further doubts. One doubt leads to another, to another, to another, and that journey can continue. But once they will get resolved, they will be like done deal. You will not have any doubts, any fear, or anything of that sort. Like today, I was watching that video, and I could actually find not that where those things were getting loose ends. Gyan and Bhakti were talking about, and the philosophy, and 2 saints having Vitandavad. So you start understanding those deeper concepts. Otherwise, we keep on getting impressed and at the same time confused. Okay, that thing will settle away. You just understand it very clearly and with no loose ends. And that is the impact of coming in contact with the Shrotriya and Brahmanisht saint. And if we are lucky enough to do that, nothing like it. We are extremely fortunate in life. It says that to come across a proper guru, the odds of that are lesser than finding a log in a sea when you are drowning. That is how rare it is. Okay, so you can just imagine. Okay, any other questions, or we can continue on this?
Yeah, very good, bhai. Continue. And yeah, Manish ji is asking, please let us know where is the university planned to build. I guess one is being built in Odisha, and I think so. Is that so?
It's in Odisha in a very rural part. The website, if you go there, maybe I'll give you a presentation on that. It actually talks about everything, all the plan for the university, where it is being built, all the details are there on the website. So I've posted the link, take a look at it. And if you have questions, come back. And when Swamiji is building it, it's going to be state of the art. I can just imagine. It's just going to be a league apart for sure in every way.
And Swamiji was here in Delhi. He showed us a slide. It's a huge property, huge.
It's a huge. It's huge.
University, the hospital, the hostel, and from scriptures, Vedic knowledge, the yogas, everything is there. You name it, you have it. It's a huge, huge place.
Name it, you have it. Yeah. And working with him and knowing how he goes, if he has taken something, it has to be class apart for sure. it'll be like one of those things, people will come to watch and be part of in coming years. And we will have the privilege to see it come. Trust me. We all are here. Few years time, we all will be talking about it. I know that for a fact. It looks impossible right now, the scale and all that, but it will happen. And I know it for a fact. So we'll get to see that for sure. So do check it out, and maybe I can give a short presentation on one of the days. But it's pretty, response has been pretty good. We've been able to raise close to 100K within a span of a week, and so many people are coming forward. And I was, I took a pledge of 11,000, getting close to 5,000. That itself is commendable. So many of you have come forward, which is very, very overwhelming. So very nice. It will continue till August or so. So still have time to go. Any other questions, or you wanted to pick up the question that I have posed?
Samji says the slides are not moving, and Joanji says, from my perspective,
is it moving for you, the slides?
Sorry, it shares your page of donation. It's still there.
Got you. Sorry about that.
Now we can see all ourselves full screen.
Okay. All right. Now you should be able to see.
Now we can see the chapter 4, verse 12. What are your top priorities? Top 3 priorities in life. And Joanji says, number 1, to attain scriptural knowledge. Number 2, to serve the Lord by serving humankind. And number 3, to be at peace and find contentment in our lives. And this will come by achieving 1 and 2. Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful point, Joanji. Very true. So we keep talking about love for God, right? What will happen when we have love for God is the question, right? Big question. Now, if you look at Mahatma Gandhi's life, he picked up one virtue, just one virtue, non-violence. One virtue, godly virtue. If you pick up, go to chapter 16, verse 3. Lord Krishna is talking about, I think, 26 virtues or something like that. David Gun, you pick one. That itself can transform our lives. However, if you develop love for God, all those virtues are a natural byproduct of it. It's just that silver bullet. You will just get all that you need just by doing that. So he's just simplified it for us, very simplified for us. You develop love and devotion for me, rest all will be taken care. You will have David Guns. You will get everything that you need in life, with regards to your behavioral competence, with regards to your intellectual competence, managing relations, managing work, everything will be taken care of. That is a silver bullet, love for God. Just one thing. You don't have to work on one thing. Okay, first let me be honest, then let me become truthful. Now let me work on anger. Now let me work on, not worrying too much. All that will automatically start getting. It's just like one pill you take and everything will be taken care of. Or you pick up one thing, that is also fine, but it's a bit stretched process. Eventually you have to start loving God. Okay, anybody? I can just see one hand. Yes, Padmaji, you had. Please go ahead.
After I can post it, please feel free to post your comments, suggestions, feedback, and please register yourself for the grand family camp. And we have a grand opening of CICE on the 22nd of this month. So people around Dallas or not around Dallas, please feel free to come and witness the grand opening with Swamiji. It's a 3-day event on weekend. That's it. And
yes. Yeah, please come for the walk as well. We're going to have a walk for this cause, and it's going to be a grand opening. So please help us spread the word around. It's going to be magnificent, the CIC building that we have, which is coming up, and it will really catapult or take the CIC offerings to another level. It's going to be a state-of-the-art building, and it's going to increase the potential of the offerings big time. I don't know what it means for our daily wisdom session. We'll continue to do it from home, but then the amount of offerings and the potential, it will just take it to the next level for sure. So do help us spread the word around, share the message. All those small sevas do add up, and that's where I would strongly encourage you to sign up. Mohitji, and he's going to do a fantastic job at assigning you things that are going to change your life forever. That much I can tell you. Okay, yes, Padmaji. Anything else, Shamji, you wanted to announce?
I've got few comments. Read them first before I hand over to Padmaji.
Sure.
Anilji says, peaceful mind. And Sri Ramyaji says, I think this was mentioned in second or third chapter. Big reservoir fulfilling the functions of a small reservoir. And Preeti ji is asking, where do we find those 26 virtue points you just mentioned?
Bhagavad Gita chapter 16 verse 3, and let me post the link for you. If you can give me a sec, I can post that link for you. In the meantime, let's hear out Shabji if you have something else.
Sri Ramyaji has a question. Will the online classes stop? No, they will not stop. Why will they? No. It's just that you will have to go to center to the sessions.
What happened? Sorry, I didn't get that. Okay, I just posted the link. You can check this. Bhagavad Gita 1 to 3. Yes.
Sri Ramyaji is asking, will the online classes stop?
No,
Once
no,
we have...
no, nothing, Ramyaji. It's not that you'll be forced to come to Dallas to attend it in person. This online will continue.
We'll love to do that, but Nitin will have to go to the center to do the classes. I guess so.
That I don't know. But one thing I know for a fact that it will help us expand our offerings big time. But this online session will continue unless, what do you call that? Ice Age comes very quickly. We are going to continue, okay, online sessions. So that much I can assure you.
Padmaji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead. Yeah, thank you so much.
This was something that I wanted to comment on. Like earlier at the middle of the session, there was a question about that. The knowledge, right? Where does it come from? And Nitinji, I think he talked about it a little bit. Of course, from society, from parents, from all the senses, all the inputs that we gathered since we were born. We learn how to eat, we learn how to walk, we learn how to talk. We learn the languages, all these five senses, the inputs that we gather to survive, and the society and the culture, the movies, the parents. And also our own, as we are growing in life, our own past experiences that we have, we continue to make beliefs based on those past experiences. And we also make beliefs dwelling upon what is that something that we need to see in the future, and then projecting our mind into the future. And then we believe, those beliefs that we are continuously making, right? We are sitting here and we're thinking about the past things that we have happened and the projection of what might happen. Those continuous beliefs that we are making, the nurture and the nature part. That's what I wanted to comment earlier. But if you're grounding everything based on the spiritual beliefs, that gives you that inner peace, which you cannot acquire from what your mother said, what the society said, and what is your position in a situation, to take a step forward in a situation, whether it's a situation of emotional trouble or physical trouble, a disease or ailment or anything. For that, you need to have a strong belief which comes from only within, that is only grounded by the spiritual beliefs, not by material inputs that you gather from people. And that, if you make it as a constant process, that becomes your mirror. And every time when you're confused, you look at your own self mirror that you have projected yourself on the beliefs that you have built, and you will get an answer back to what to do in that situation. Look at yourself in that mirror, which is grounded by the spiritual belief, and that will give back you that answer. What is that right thing that you need to do in that situation?
Beautiful. Great points, Padmaji. Sometimes I'm amazed how you're able to process so much of information in so little time and be able to articulate it at the same time. Very nice. Wonderful. That's true. It's just like hunger, right? Narad Bhakti Darshan talks about devotion. What is the proof of devotion? And it said it's just like hunger. And same thing for when you are actually aligning with some of the scriptural principles, it will tell you, your experience will tell you, just like devotion, that yes, this is right. And that is the level you see, right? If somebody says, what is the proof? What is the proof of you being hungry? Can you prove it? You can only try to explain as best as you can. How can you prove that you are hungry? And then how can you prove that I'm not hungry? It's just an experience. It's your own experience. Same thing with bhakti, devotion, and some of the beliefs. When you start aligning it to the proper principles, you will just get that feeling, yes, Now you are doing it right. That is how powerful it is. You don't need a proof for that. You just know it, did it right. So it's important to align our, it's important that we should always have a check that, is it something that is happening to me? It could be erroneous. It could be, something being passed on, which is more of an opinion coming across as a universal truth or a principle for you, and you're starting to form your belief system around it. So we need to unlearn that and learn to acquire it systematically through the bona fide source, proper knowledge. Then we will start getting clarity of mind. Otherwise, it's wild, wild west and wild goose chase. So many theories. I mean, as you start getting more and more spiritually aligned, a lot of theories will come your way, and which is fine. This is part of the seeking process. I've struggled with it for the initial few years until I met Swamiji and things started falling in place with absolute certainty. So many theories. We have not even started with Dvait concept. I'm not sure if we have Vedantis here, but that is a concept. I've had pretty interesting conversations. We have not spoken about the depths of Gyan Marg and other margs and how it stacks up against Bhakti Marg. We've not spoken about the worshipping the Nirgun, Nirakar, Om and all that stuff. We haven't spoken about the limitations of other marg and some of the stuff that Charvak philosophy and all that stuff. All those will come as part of our discussion. But the point here is, whatever we discuss, it's important to get our doubts resolved very clearly so that we can proceed with absolute certainty, faith and confidence, and not a half-hearted thing. That theory, 50% of the battle is theory and 50% is practical. But that 50% is very important, because that gives us the confidence that what we are doing is right. Otherwise, self-doubts, second-guessing yourself, and every second opinion that comes your way is going to shake our, belief, faith. We need to first move away from that, have a rock-solid foundation in our knowledge. That is very important. Great. Any other questions, or we are good for today? We'll continue with that. The remaining 2 P's we'll cover, and Chatur Varanyam we'll cover next week. Keep on postponing it. It's a very important topic. I think it'll probably get next week. This Friday, we are not going to have a class. Thursday, Padmaji is going to answer all the questions you will have about forgiveness. I'm looking forward to a presentation, and we'll take some Gita reference as well at the beginning of the session. And Friday, we'll not have a session. I'll be on travel. Next Friday also will not have a session because we have a CICE inauguration. That is an event. Whichever part of Brahmand you are in, you need to be here. Okay, virtually, in person, or in spirit. All 3 options are available. Yes, Rahul.
Question? Virtually and in spirit. That broke my heart. I was going with the first one in person, but any which way, you said the correct words. And one announcement that today is the last day to register for family camp with the early bird option for people in US. And today is Vaisakhi, so happy Vaisakhi to all of you out there in Delhi, India. And that's it. And Rahulji has his hand raised. Yeah, Rahulji, please go ahead.
Yes, Rahul.
Nitinji, I had a question. When you showed that formal and informal slide, where we have this formal path of getting educated and the informal path. So probably in the formal path also, when we were talking about the self-help book, that is like an ascending nature of knowledge we are trying to gain, because somebody has written that. But when we are talking of the scriptures through a guru, then that is like a descending form of knowledge. So that will be very different actually in that formal level of education.
True. It's a formal way of doing that, but better than informal. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it's a perfect way. The perfect one is the one that I have called in green, dark green there. I put that in amber, okay? That is also dangerous to do that. And in fact, I didn't go through that slide. Maybe we can just discuss it tomorrow. When we do that knowledge from the self-help books and stuff, it has some limitations. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, I didn't get into that detail. It has its limitations for sure. Unless it is coming from a God-realized saint, that knowledge will always be subject to imperfections. Those 4 imperfections we will talk about. Okay. Great. Wonderful discussion. Yes, Sunitji, it's always good to hear Araro. Let's quickly do that.
Yeah,
And
I just want to see that slide, that formal or informal. Before that, there was one slide. I want to take that screenshot, please.
okay, it will be my extreme pleasure to do that, Sunitji.
Before this.
Oh, before this? This one?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you.
These are all the viewpoints you will come across. Next time you come across a friend, say, I have seen a slide and now I know where it's coming from. Okay. That's the idea about it. I put down all the, not all, but most of the things that I hear from, friends and everybody around it, including my own belief system at some point in time, and including my relatives, my brother. So I try to put all of that. Now I see how our belief system shapes our actions, day-to-day actions in our life. Our life actually is centered around our belief system. It has a huge role to play for sure. But yeah, take this screenshot and you keep it handy. Okay, next time you hear any of these, life is gaining experiences and enjoying and all this stuff. So you know where that knowledge is coming from. All right, we'll do our closing prayers then, or anything else.
All done, bhai. And just one thing I just noticed, for the past few days, the cameras are going off. The only view of us and Samji is the one only who is putting his camera on. So I suggest we have a class with the cameras off one day, bhai. It's a good idea. I should have.
In fact, I'm going to announce that maybe on Thursday or next week, you can let me know. We are going to have an all camera class. We're going to take some pictures, and I'm going to put our Together We Can Drive that we are doing as a daily wisdom from Bhagavad Gita drive, and put everybody's picture so that, we have that sense. So please plan to turn on your cameras. Let's do it on Thursday. What do you think? Thursday would be good?
Yeah. But I was saying cameras off class.
Preetiji just did that, Preetiji. So you are excused now. Okay. So thank you very much. Yes, Thursday, let's plan for that. We can take some good pictures. If somebody has a big screen, even better. Please take that picture and send it. But let's do it on Thursday all together. It will be a good way to get some group pics, and I'll announce it tomorrow as well, and get some good pictures, for everybody together. So that will be a good way to do that.
Preetiji has a hand.
Yes, Preetiji. Preetiji.
Yeah, Nitinji, it is very difficult to not to switch on the camera when you are listening to such a wonderful session each morning. But it happens such that it is morning time in India, and either there is a workout or some other thing to do. Because soon after this, the work day begins, right? Shamji would agree with me. So, I mean, that's that. Otherwise, salute to you.
I think it will be good actually, having pictures if somebody is cooking, somebody is doing workout, and somebody.
No.
It will be fun actually. See, people are making out time. I look at it that way. See, so she's preparing something and turned out.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
But yeah, as best as possible. Maybe we can try to do it early. That way we have to, so that way we can get a group picture of everybody. And, I would like to post it on our thing, right? That way, and then I would encourage you to create your fundraiser if you feel inspired enough. You can do that. Maybe we can walk you through that process as well. But great. Okay. Yes, Shamji, any closing words?
No, that's it. I think we are so blessed that despite being busy daily chores, daily work, we still have some time. We take our time to come to this class. The best part for all of us.
Very true. Yeah, that means a lot actually. And thank you for giving the opportunity to to be able to sit with you and discuss this wonderful scripture that we have. I know it's difficult in the morning, especially when it gets 8:30 to 9:30, even more difficult, but we still have, 70, 80 consistent participants, which is great actually. So wonderful. Shamji, anything else? We can do our closing prayers. Okay.
Closing prayers. Anybody will take a lead today? Please come forward and
everybody is thinking somebody will do it, but nobody is doing it. So okay, quite a few hands are raised. So Shamji, your call, please, or maybe we can have it together, whoever wants to do it.
some issue with my network. I can't see
No worries.
anything.
Let me unmute you and
Some
then
glitch.
please go ahead and let's do that quickly. Okay, let's do it together.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे
सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Thank you, Nitinji. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful
Radhe Radhe. Thank you.
rest of your evening. Radhe Radhe. I'll see you tomorrow.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.